They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I will talk to you about art, for there is nothing else to talk about, for there is nothing else. Life is an obscure hobo bumming a ride on the omnibus of art. Burn gas, buggies, and whip your sour cream of circumstance and hope, and go ahead and sleep your bloody heads off. Creation is, all else is not. What is not creation is graham crackers. Let it all crumble to the feet of the Creator. Hello, Milwaukee. Hello, the internet. And welcome to the glorious return of Milwaukee Records LiveSCREAM Theater, brought to you by the 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival. My name is Matt. How you doing? It's good to be back here on week 2 of LiveSCREAM Theater. I'll be here for 2 more Fridays in October. Like I said, this is all brought to you by the 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival, which is set for October 15th through the 29th. It is an all-virtual festival this year. Check it out at mkefilm.org. So, if you're new to this thing, what is LiveSCREAM Theater? Well, it's pretty simple. I get together with you online. We watch some old public domain horror movies, and we make some jokes, and we enjoy ourselves, and we chat along in the comments, and that's about it. Real easy. Nothing fancy. Last week, we got together, and we watched the Vincent Price quarantine classic, The Last Man on Earth, a very apropos movie, wouldn't you agree? That was a lot of fun, and we've got a doozy in store for tonight. Let's talk about tonight's film. This is a film that answers the age-old question, what if House of Wax, but with beatniks? And a heroin subplot? I'm speaking, of course, of the 1959 Roger Corman delight, A Bucket of Blood. Produced and directed by Roger Corman, written by Charles B. Griffith, and starring the incomparable, the incredible, the legendary Dick Miller in a rare starring role for Dick Miller, whom, if you don't know who Dick Miller is, and I know if Rick Katchke is watching along tonight, if you're out there, Rick, I know you are probably the foremost expert on Dick Miller, so I won't pretend to have anywhere near your knowledge about Dick Miller. But if you don't know who Dick Miller is, he's the quintessential, that guy. Dick Miller passed away last year, sadly, at the age of 90, so he had a long, long life and an incredible career. Modern audiences probably recognize him from such roles. He was in Gremlins, he was in a bunch of Joe Dante films, and you'll know who he is if you don't already. Dick Miller is wonderful in this movie, and this entire movie is really, really something. Out of all the films we're going to be watching this season on LiveSCREAM Theater, I think this is my favorite. It's a comedy, sort of. It's a horror comedy satire that takes place at kind of the height of the beatnik scene in California. And it does a really funny, real affectionate kind of parody of that scene at the time. Dick Miller plays a kind of a dim-witted, to put it nicely, busboy who works at this uber hipster beatnik coffee shop. And his name is Walter Paisley, a name we'll hear often throughout Dick Miller's career. We'll talk about that later. And Walter is a very impressionable young man, and all he wants to do is to become an artist, like all of the poets and artists and beats that hang around the coffee shop. And he eventually does become an artist in a very troubling way. So I won't spoil it or anything, but just know that this is a really funny movie. It's terrific. It has, strangely, I think, a lot to say, some serious things and some serious thoughts about the nature of art and, you know, what it means to be an artist, what it means to have talent or not talent. That's all wrapped up in this, very kind of quickly shot and low-budget film. We'll talk about that as well later. But A Bucket of Blood, a terrific film. I'm so happy to be watching this tonight. And if you haven't seen it, sit back. If you're drinking, like me, thanks to Lakefront. Thank you, Lakefront. If you're drinking, have a drink. If you're not drinking, that's cool. Of course, you don't have to have a drink. But this movie is a ton of fun. And it's only like, I don't know, it's like 60 minutes long, which is chef kiss emoji. So let's get right to it. Like I said, before we do that, let's plug the Milwaukee Film Festival again. The 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival, October 15th through the 29th. Find everything, including the films, which were just announced this week on Monday. There's something like 197 titles in this year's program, and I think it's fantastic. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Passes are on sale now. Tickets will be on sale soon. Find out all that and more at mkefilm.org. And let's sit back, relax, and enjoy A Bucket of Blood.
I will talk to you of art, for there is nothing else to talk about. For there is nothing else. Life is an obscure hobo bumming a ride on the omnibus of art. Burn gas buggies and whip your sour cream of circumstance and hope. And go ahead and sleep your bloody heads off. Creation is. All else is not. What is not creation is graham crackers. Let it all crumble to feed the creator. The artist is. All others are not. A canvas is a canvas, or a painting. A rock is a rock, or a statue. A sound is a sound, or is music. A creature is a creature, or an artist. Where are John, Joe, Jake, Jim, Jerk? Dead, dead, dead. They were not born. Before they were born, they were not born. Where are Leonardo, Rembrandt, Ludwig? Alive, alive, alive. They were born. Bring on the multitude with a multitude of fishes. Feed them to the fishes for liver oil, to nourish the artist. Stretch their skins upon an easel to give him canvas. Crush their bones into a paste that he might mold them. Let them die, and by their miserable deaths become the clay within his hands, that he might form an ashtray or an ark. For all that is comes through the eye of the artist. The rest are blind fish swimming in the cave of aloneness. Swim on, you maudlin, muddling, maddened fools, and dream that one bright and sunny night some artist will bait a hook and let let you bite upon it. Bite hard and die. In his stomach, you are very close to immortality.
Walter? Walter, what are you doing here?
I was looking at Carla's picture.
Do I pay you to look at pictures? Come on, get to work.
I was just looking.
There are empty cups all over the place. Clear them out.
You shouldn't be so rough on him, Leonard.
Hey, say, Walter.
Hi. There you go, Kurt.
Yes, man. How you make it?
Fine, man. How about you? In and out.
Valdez, Vice.
Yeah, LaCroix checking in. Lou took over a couple of minutes ago.
Anything new at the door?
Well, nothing you can pound nails in. A couple of hustlers. One of them short, fat, brunette, named Skinny. The other one was short also. She was bleached and skinny.
Name of Fat.
Probably, I didn't get it. They didn't give any pictures, though. Guess you can keep an eye on them.
Okay, any heads?
Well, Jerry Sachs looked like he was straight. I'm sure he's on it anyway. Didn't see any pushers around the place. Lou said he'd check out on Jerry, sound him out later if he gets any higher. I guess that's about it.
Okay, Art. Go on home and get a good night's sleep, you think.
Okay, so long.
Everyone listen to my new poem. Do you think they really heard it?
I heard it, Mr. Brock.
Thank you, Walter. I'm sure you did.
Bring on the multitude with a multitude of fishes. Feed them to the fishes for liver oil to nourish the artist.
That was word for word.
Is it? I've forgotten.
You mean you don't remember your own poem?
I refuse to say anything twice. Repetition is death.
I don't get it.
When you repeat something, you are reliving a moment, wasting it, severing it from the other end of your life. I believe only in new impressions, new stimuli, new life.
I thought you believed that life is an obscure hobo bumming a ride on the...
I do believe that, Walter, but I also believe creative living. To be uncreative, you might as well be in your grave. Or in the army.
They tried to draft me once. I couldn't pass the test.
Walter, Leonard's looking at you.
He's just about gone.
Walter has a clear mind. One day something will enter it, feel lonely, and leave again.
Too much.
Yes, cats, yes. If you want to know how beatniks live, William and me will show you. We'll introduce you to some wild ones. You may even discover an artist of your own.
And how much is that going to cost us?
What cost? A couple of bucks. You want to meet some beatniks, don't you?
Oh, no, it's the artist. I'm just crazy about artists.
All that is comes through the eye of the artist. The rest are just blind fish swimming in a cave of aloneness.
Oh, you must be an artist. And working as a busboy, too.
Feed him that he will be satisfied. The artist is, all others are not.
That's most intriguing. Are you a painter?
Well, no, I work... I'm working on something that's not ready yet.
What is it, man? Finger painting? Draw me a picture of a house, Walter. Make some smoke coming out of the chimney.
Well, I am working on something. I'll show you soon.
Walter?
Is he...
You get a good look, kid? Come on home.
Hello, Mrs. Swicker.
Oh,
Walter, you look awful pale. What'd you have to eat tonight?
I had a salami sandwich, Mrs. Swickert.
Oh, if you were my son, why don't you let me fix you a nice bowl of soup? Won't take but a minute.
Oh, it's okay. I can fix myself something. Besides, I got something important to do.
Say, Walter, did you see anything of Frankie tonight when you went out?
I didn't see him at all.
Well, if you do, tell him I got a nice, fresh piece of halibut for him.
Tell him that? I mean, do you think he'll understand? He's only a cat.
Good night, Walter.
Frankie? Canvas is a canvas or a painting. A rock is a rock or a statue. A sound is a sound or it's music. Be a nose. Be a nose. What's the matter, Frankie? How'd you get yourself stuck in a wall? Wait a minute, I'll get you out. Frankie? Frankie? You all right, Frankie? Frankie, I'm sorry. Poor Mrs. Swickert. She had a nice fresh piece of halibut for you. I'll give you to her in the morning. Repetition is death, Frankie.
dim-witted busboy in a beatnik coffee shop yearns to be an artist, so he too can score with the chicks. Before becoming a multiple murderer, he tries his hand at sculpture, flailing desperately at a lump of clay while muttering, "Be a nose. Be a nose." This moment in Roger Corman's 1959 horror cheapie A Bucket of Blood is the most accurate evocation I've ever seen of my own creative process. That is the great Art Spiegelman, artist, graphic novelist extraordinaire Art Spiegelman, talking about A Bucket of Blood, and the very famous scene that we just saw where Dick Miller is molding this lump of clay, saying, "Be a nose, be a nose." I love that moment. Art Spiegelman put out, actually McSweeney's put out a pretty incredible collection, reproductions of old Spiegelman sketchbooks from all the way back from 1979 all the way up to 2007. And each one is called B, the other is A, and the last one is Nose. Be a Nose. So Art Spiegelman taking a lot of inspiration from A Bucket of Blood. How's it going? Thanks for chatting along. Thanks for hanging out tonight. My name is Matt. Welcome back to the me portion of LiveSCREAM Theater, brought to you by the 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival. Find out everything you need to know about the film festival at mkefilm.org. So let's talk about Bucket of Blood. This was one of these quintessential Roger Corman productions. It was shot over a whopping 5 days, had a budget of $50,000, and it reused a bunch of sets that were left over from a previous film called Diary of a High School Bride. And not only were these sets already used on a prior production, they would go on to be used again in yet another production, another film, and that film immediately followed this one in Corman's filmography, and that would be Little Shop of Horrors, the original Little Shop of Horrors, that was written by Charles B. Griffith, the writer of A Bucket of Blood. Griffith and Corman collaborated on 3 kind of horror comedy satires back to back. The first, A Bucket of Blood, followed up with Little Shop, and then did a film called Creature from the Haunted Sea, all back to back. And if you haven't detected some similarities between A Bucket of Blood and Little Shop already, I think you're going to see more and more of them as the film continues. And this was something that Corman owned up to, and certainly Griffith owned up to. In an interview that he gave many years later, Charles B. Griffith, the writer, said, "I wrote Bucket as a satire, and then Little Shop as a farce. Different characters, different names and gags, but it was absolutely scene by scene the same structure. Both were around 64 pages, which was 64 minutes. And like I said, if you haven't picked up on those similarities yet, we're definitely going to see a lot more coming up as the film continues. Basically, the story of this kind of, nerdy schmuck who kind of stumbles into fame and, has to keep feeding it, as it were, in the case of Little Shop, literally feeding a giant plant monster in order to kind of continue and to keep that fame rolling, and very, very similar to this film. Like I said, I think this film is terrific. It's a lot of fun. Has a lot to say about art. I think the whole beatnik thing is a lot of fun, and both Corman and Griffith do a really good job at bringing that across. So let's get back to the film, A Bucket of Blood, here on LiveSCREAM Theater, brought to you by the 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival.
Buying a burglar alarm system is really a one-time purchase. Therefore, you must be sure that you're dealing with the right company, that the product is the right one for your home. The cost is low, no monthly maintenance fees, and most important, when will the alarm work? After the burglar is in your home or while he's still outside? If you want to stop a burglar on the outside, there's only one company to call, and that's Mach 7. For a free brochure on how to keep that burglar outside, call 466-9990. Call us now.
Let them die, and by their miserable deaths become the clay within his hands, that he might form an ashtray or an ark. Pray that you might be his diadem, gold, glory, paint, clay, that he might take you in his magic hands and wring from your marrow wonders.
Where are John, Joe, Jim, Jerk? Dead, dead, dead.
Hi, Carla.
Walter, what are you doing here so early?
Well, I brought something. I think you'll like it.
Take that stuff to the laundromat, Walter.
Huh?
Don't mind him. What have you got?
It's a thing I made.
Walter.
You like it?
What's he got?
Oh, come look at this, Leonard.
Where'd you get that, auction?
I made it.
You made that?
I said I did, didn't I?
Walter, it's very good.
Honest?
Honest.
What's it called?
Dead cat?
Dead Cat? That's its name?
Sure.
Well, it sure looks dead enough.
You want to buy it?
Buy it? That thing? Scare people out of the place.
Don't be silly. It's tremendous. Look at the detail. The anatomy's perfect. Look at the expression on its face.
How come you put a knife into it?
I didn't mean to.
Just got carried away, huh? Well, all right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it in the corner of the alcove. If it sells, we'll split 50-50, okay?
Sure. Does this mean I'm an artist?
Maybe so. You can do other things as well.
Well, all that is comes through the eye of the artist.
Yeah, you're a real artist now. I go in back and scrub down those garbage cans. Much now.
You really like it?
We like it. Now go on.
Did you see my cat?
What's the matter? You losing?
How do you like my cat? You make this thing, man?
Uh-huh. It's crazy. Crazy.
You want to buy it?
Who, me, man?
On tap. He likes my cat.
Get to work.
Hey, Walter, come here a minute. Hey, congratulations, man.
Walter, you're famous.
I saw your cat.
Did you like it, Mr. Brock?
You may call me Maxwell.
Now, how'd you do it, Walter?
Oh, I just took some clay and fixed it up.
Attention. Attention, everyone. As you pass through these yellow portals, I am sure you noticed on your right a small clay figure, and assumed this transfixed effigy to be the work of a master sculptor. And indeed, so it is. That master sculptor is in our midst. He is none other than Walter Paisley, our very own busboy, whose hands of genius have been carrying away the empty cups of your frustrations. Mark well this lad. His is the silent voice of creation. Within the dark, rich soil of humility, he blossoms as the hope of our nearly sterile century.
Beautiful, Maxwell.
Bring me an espresso, Walter.
Hey, Maxwell, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Man, you are in.
Oh, Walter, it
Yes,
was wonderful.
yes, cat's cut. Yes. This is my man. Took her everything. Yes, yes. Listen, man, you got a pen? Huh? This is my man.
Hey, Pops, what's happening?
Making a big scene for Walter.
Who'd he shoot?
He made a cat. Out of clay.
See you around.
Yeah, later. Listen, man, you got a pen?
Will somebody clear this table, please?
This is my man.
Will somebody
Somebody clear this table.
Did you hear them, Mr. DeSantis? They all like my cat.
Yeah, very good. Now, look, Walter, you must be tired. Why don't you take the rest of the night off? Huh?
I don't...
No, you got it coming. Besides, you're creating an incident. When people are applauding, they don't order coffee. So go on home and work on something. Make another cat.
Well, I haven't got another cat.
Well, just go to the movies. Please, Walter, go.
All right, Mr. DeSantis. Good night.
Good night, Walter.
Walter? Walter, wait a minute.
Oh, hello, Naolia.
Walter, I dug it.
My cat?
It was the most wonderful, wildest, like, wickiest thing I've ever seen. Walter, you've done something to me. Something deep down inside of my prana.
I have?
Oh, Walter, I want to be with you. You're creative. You've got a hot light bulb glowing inside of you, and I want to be warmed by it.
Gee, that's nice of you, Naolia.
Walter, take me away from here. Take me away to some cool blue place and gas me.
I can't. I gotta go home.
Oh, then I'll go home with you.
Oh, no, Mrs. Swickett wouldn't like that. She's my landlady.
Isn't there anything I can do for you?
I don't think so, Naolia.
Oh, Walter, I can't let you just split like this. I've got to do something. I've got to contribute.
You don't have to do anything.
Wait. Wait, there is one thing I can do. One little thing. Don't leave, Walter. I want to give you something. Something that'll make you remember me. Put it in your pocket. Now go, Walter. Don't look back. Just go.
Can I have your autograph, Mr. Paisley? Why, certainly, my good woman. Everybody likes my cat. You want to buy my statue, mister? $10,000? Okay. Gee, I'll be famous. And then I can ask Carla, and she'll say yes. I know she will.
Hello, Walter.
Oh, hi. You're Lou, ain't you? I seen you down the yellow door plenty. Come on in. I was just making some pancakes. You can have some if you like. Did you see my cat?
Yeah, I saw your cat. I also saw that chick lay these on you.
Oh, that was Naolia. She's a nice girl. She's kind of strange, though. I guess she figures I get headaches or something.
Okay, Walter, who's your connection?
Connection?
Yeah, connection. Who do you score from? Where do you buy your horse?
Horse?
Horse, junk, white stuff, heroin.
Is that what that is? I never seen any of that before. I always thought that was expensive.
Yeah, Walter, that can be real expensive.
Gee. Well, wasn't that nice of Naolia to give me that expensive horse?
Walter.
Huh?
Police officer.
Oh, you're like an undercover man.
You're under arrest, Walter.
Under arrest for what?
Possession of narcotics.
Who, me? What are you talking about?
Walter, I got you cold. Now you just come along quietly.
I didn't do nothing. And Naolia give me those. I didn't ask her for it. I didn't even know what was in
All right,
that.
you can tell him that downtown. Now let's go.
I ain't going no place with you.
Walter, do I have to point this at you?
You're gonna shoot me. No, don't shoot me.
Walter, just relax.
No, you're gonna shoot me.
Now, just relax.
No, don't shoot
Just
me.
shut up, Walter.
No, you're gonna shoot me. Don't shoot. Noise, Mrs. Swickett? What noise?
Don't tell me I didn't hear a racket. Are you sure you're all alone?
I'm always alone, Mrs. Swickett.
Walter, have you been talking to yourself again?
Well, I guess maybe I have, Mrs. Swickett. Somebody's got to.
Walter, you know, what you need is a girl. But she doesn't have to be pretty, just so long as she takes good care of you.
Well, I can take real good care of myself, Mrs. Swickett.
Yeah, I can see that. Look at this pad. It's terrible. When did you ever clean it up? And when did you change these sheets last? They look like they're alive.
Mrs. Swickett, I gotta meet some friends in a little while, and I gotta take a shower.
Well, why don't you clean up
if you
this
don't mind.
stuff?
Oh, please,
What's the
Mrs.
matter?
Swickett. To hurt you, Lou. But if you'd have shot me, you'd be mopping up my blood now. I can't help it if I got scared and hit you. I didn't mean it. It's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't know you had it in you, Walter. How'd you do it? I just took some clay and fixed it up. Go home and make something, Walter. Make another cat. But I haven't got another cat.
Well, I reported in here around midnight. Lou had already been gone over an hour. No, nobody seems to know where he went. Why don't you put an alert out on him, and I'll check on him from here. Okay, right.
Age 29, 5 foot 11 inches tall, dark complexion, hair black and curly. Last seen wearing blue jeans and gray sweater.
Tim Evans was a murderer, all in his prison cell. And those who read about his crimes, they damned his soul to hell, saying, "Go down, you murderer, go down." For the murder of his own true wife and the killing of his own child, the jury found him guilty and the hanging judge, he smiled.
And dig the fuzz. What do you suppose they wanted? You, man, you.
Hey, maybe they're looking for old Walter. He's a criminal type. Ain't you, Walter?
I'm sorry, Mr. DeSantis.
Oh, that's all right, Walter. Sit down.
Me?
Sit down.
Greetings, man.
I'm not supposed to sit with the customers.
Wait. Now, why shouldn't you sit at the table, Walter? After all, you're a big artist now. A true creator above mere mortals.
What's the big idea?
Idea? I was just telling Walter the truth. Man wanted to pay me $100 for the cat. In fact, he's taking it home to show it to his wife. Proves that I underestimated Walter's ability. His work, there's enormous realism. You can hardly tell it from the real thing.
Well, that sounds like a real put down.
Get off Walter's back, Leonard.
Why on his back?
You're not very funny.
I'm not trying to be. Walter, what are you going to make next? A dog, maybe. Or a bird. How about a few dozen cockroaches from your room?
Hey, man, why don't you make an elephant?
I got a new one.
Great. What is it?
It's a full-length, life-size figure.
Crazy. What is it called?
Murdered man.
When do we get to see it?
Oh, anytime.
Hey, that's a pretty far-out name for a statue. I saw a statue once. It was called The Third Time Phyllis Saw Me, She Exploded.
Well, what kind of a statue was that?
I don't know. It was made out of driftwood and dipped in fluoric acid. Very wild.
What's wrong, Leonard?
Nothing at all.
It's the food in this dump. Oh, man, you should try the Sorrel sewer. They got wheat germ bagels. Too much.
Excuse me, please.
I think he really is sick.
So who isn't?
Sanders, I've been trying to get to you all evening.
Gotta make a call. Gotta call Lieutenant Valdez.
Listen, I was wrong about my wife. She wants that cat after all. Do you hear me? I'll give you that $100 for the cat.
I can't talk to you just now.
All right, then, $200.
No. No.
$300, and that's tops.
$300 for the cat?
I know I'm going out of my mind, but I've been collecting art pieces all over Europe for years. And this boy, Walter Paisley, has got it. I want to buy his first work. And to make very sure that I get it, I'll pay you $500. $500 for the cat and a first look at his next stuff.
Someone has the cat just now, but I'll have him back in a few days. Then you can have it for the $500.
Oh, thank you, sir. I think I've made a bargain. Call me when you're ready. Good night.
Walked behind, and he saw the sky.
Leonard, you feel better? Listen, I'm going over to Walter's later after the place closes to see Murdered Man. You feel up to coming along?
The rope was fixed around his neck and a washer behind his ear. And the prison bell was tolling, but Tim Evans didn't hear. Saying, go down, you murderer, go.
Welcome back to the host portion of Milwaukee Records Live Scream Theater. Thanks for sticking with us here during A Bucket of Blood. Love, love, love this film. It's been a lot of fun watching. Been a lot of fun chatting along here in the comments with you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Let's talk about Dick Miller, shall we? Like I said at the top of the show, I'm not going to pretend to be the foremost expert on Mr. Miller, but he is a legend. He's incredible. He's wonderful in this film. And like I said before, this is a rare starring role for Dick Miller, who was kind of this consummate character actor that was in just tons of Corman pictures. Joe Dante used him in a bunch of stuff. And he was just all over the place for decades and decades. He passed away last year at the age of 90. R.I.P. Dick Miller. His character here in A Bucket of Blood, his character's name is Walter Paisley. And that is a name that actually Dick Miller has in numerous films throughout his career. It was used, he popped up in The Howling, Joe Dante film, as Walter Paisley. Not the same character necessarily, but the same character name. He was in Twilight Zone, the movie, Walter Paisley again, Night of the Creeps, and even Chopping Mall. He pops up, he's like the not the security guard, he's like the janitor, right, in Chopping Mall, and the great killer robots on the loose in an 80s mall. If you haven't seen Chopping Mall, check that one out, that is a delight. So yeah, Dick Miller popping up oftentimes under the name Walter Paisley in all these films. As for A Bucket of Blood, there are a few interviews where Dick Miller talks about it, and one, he kind of has a dim opinion of it. In one interview that he gave, he said, if they'd had more money to put into the production so we didn't have to use mannequins for the statues, if we didn't have to shoot the last scene with, I'll not spoil the thing here, he says, this could have been a very classic little film. The story was good, the acting was good, the humor in it was good, the timing was right, everything about it was right, but they didn't have any money for production values, and it suffered. However, in a later interview, in a 2012 interview with the AV Club is asking Dick Miller about A Bucket of Blood. And Dick Miller says, A Bucket of Blood. That's my favorite, I think. My favorite picture for that time, anyway. AV Club asked him, was being given the lead a big deal for you at the time? He says, this is going to sound, well, I don't know what it's going to sound like, but in those days I was just glad to be working. I never thought that the part was big. In fact, when I got Rock All Night, which I think was my first starring role, Roger said, this is the lead. I said, oh, gee, that's good. I was only thinking, that means more work, you know? I wasn't thinking of it as the lead. I wasn't thinking I was going to star in a picture. Bucket of Blood was the same thing. I said, oh, good, a chance to make some money. The AV Club asks him, how long was the shoot for Bucket of Blood? Dick Miller says, it was a long picture. We shot it in 5 days. I think everybody confuses it with the other picture Roger made, Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop was shot in 2 days, but 2 nights too. But it was basically shot in 2 days, and it was wonderful. The whole picture was done. They had the 2 cameras there, and the director's instructions were, if you can't see the camera, you're not being shot. I think right up there with the legendary direction from George Lucas, Faster and More Intense. I think that's my favorite piece of film direction. If you can't see the camera, you're not being shot. What else do you need to know? And again, R.I.P. to the great Dick Miller, who is fantastic in this film. So let's get back to it. A Bucket of Blood tonight on LiveSCREAM Theater. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting along in the comments. And remember, the whole thing is brought to you tonight by the 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival. That starts October 15th, runs through the 29th. It is an all-online affair this year, a virtual film festival, but there are tons of great movies to check out. 197 of them, I believe, and they're even doing, God bless Milwaukee Film, they're even doing, they're bringing back their annual Stop Making Sense dance party, except this one, of course, will be virtually done at home, but they're only showing Stop Making Sense, the Talking Heads concert film. They're only showing it once, like at 9 o'clock one night, so everyone, no matter where you are, if you put on Stop Making Sense at the time, we'll all be dancing along. I love that. I love you. Thanks, Milwaukee Film, for making this happen, and thanks to all of you for sticking around, and let's get back to the film.
Animal Crackers Pet Centers, with 3 convenient locations, has been ranked one of the top 10 in the country by a national survey. Shopping at Animal Crackers is a pleasure. Enjoy above-average service from people judged to be the best in the business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come in for the best treatment in town and save money on your pet needs. Welcome to Animal Crackers Pet Centers. Come in and see what you need.
Best people, best prices.
Look at the size of it.
Well, it's not really that big. I got it on kind of a stand.
Well, let's see it.
I'm a little nervous. I never did a person before.
You can do anything if you set your mind to it.
It's hot in here. You want me to open a window?
Oh, come on, Walter. Take off the sheet.
Don't you like it?
Walter, it's a masterpiece. I've never seen anything like it before. And I hope I never see anything like it again.
Neither do I.
It's hideous, and it's eloquent. It expresses modern man and all his self-pity. How did you ever find that in yourself, Walter?
Well, it wasn't easy.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I've never seen anyone so squeamish. What's your opinion, Leonard?
Don't ask me.
Oh, come on. Now, even you must see its value. Do you think that you or I could have conceived of such a thing, much less executed it? Well, then admit it. It's a work of genius.
I admit it. Then let's take it down to the yellow door. No.
Why not?
I'll tell you. But you cover it up again, please, huh? Please. Thank you.
What is all this nonsense? Why do you want to hide it?
Well, I've been thinking. I didn't realize how much talent Walter actually had. It would be wrong to show his pieces one at a time. Dead wrong.
You're right. He should build a collection first.
There. That's the idea. Maybe when it's big enough, we can have a show.
A show?
Yeah.
Just for me?
No, well, not exactly. I mean, you take years and years. It's getting hot again. Well, it would take you years to make that many statues, but your work would be featured.
It's a wonderful idea, Walter. It's the only way to gain recognition. All the big art critics and art dealers will be there. It'll be an event.
Yes, then we can unload. We'd sell this stuff for a lot more.
But the show, how soon can we go?
Well, don't rush things. It takes time. But first of all, you've got to stop making these horrible statues. Carla and I will guide you. Maybe you can turn to freeform.
Freeform?
Well, that's the movement today.
With his talent for realism?
But you can see the direction his realism takes. It's unhealthy.
But you said I was a genius. I don't want to be a busboy anymore.
Yes, maybe you got a point there. You shouldn't keep working at the Yellow Door. Look, I'm sure that man is going to buy your dead cat. So here's your fee in advance. $50. And if you need more, I've got it, so don't worry. I've got great faith in you, Walter.
Gee, $50 for something I made.
Now you're a professional.
Let's go.
Okay. Good night, Walter. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, but don't rush things. You got all the time in the world. Come on, Carla.
Good night.
You are, Walter?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Swickett.
Oh, sure you are, Walter.
I am. Look. Good heavens.
Я цыган, сын полей полей, помню я безумные ночи, песни, пляски, дивный звон гитар и любви пленительный угар. Лишь только хор цыганок запоет.
One of the greatest advances in modern poetry is the elimination of clarity. I am proud to say my poetry is only understood by that minority which is aware.
Aware of what?
Why, not of anything, stupid, just aware.
Man, this place is beginning to feel like a lineup.
Yeah, baby. If it don't cool out pretty soon, I'm gonna haunt somebody else's joint.
We may have to start drinking.
Отзвучали песенки цыган, давно закрыт любимый ресторан.
Yes, man, yes, yes. That's my man, yeah. Yes, man, yes.
Good evening, Walter.
Good evening, Paula. Sylvia, didn't you see me wave my Zen stick?
Oh, it's Walter Paisley.
And bring me a cappuccino and a piece of papaya cheesecake. And a bottle of Yugoslavian white wine.
Yes, sir, Mr. Paisley.
Good evening, Walter.
Maxwell, how have you been?
I see the rewards of achievement have come your way.
Well, after all, I'm a successful sculptor now.
Indeed.
Hey, man, dig Walter the Wigger. It's coming out like he just cured cancer. Let us make the scene. Crazy.
I was just suggesting to Walter that he try his hand at freeform. Why do you suggest anything to Walter? Are you the spokesman for society come to put your stifling finger in his eye?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Oh, now who invited these two down from the clouds?
Maxwell, yoo-hoo.
Clear the table, bring a bowl. I may be sick.
It's Alice the Awful. Comes to spread cheer and color.
Look at my suntan, everybody.
Do we have to?
Where have you been, Alice? I went up to Big Sur to look for Henry Miller.
You didn't find him, I hope.
No, he's in Europe.
Good.
Why is the busboy sitting here?
I'm not the busboy anymore.
That's right. Walter has become a sculptor.
Oh, really? I'm a model, you know. I only charge $25 an hour. Would you like to do me?
I just might.
Never mind that. Walter's gonna try freeform. There you go again. I may take my business to the Sorrel Sewer.
As a matter of fact, I was going to suggest to Walter that he try a female figure. As a change from the violent death theme. He really should, Walter. You know what? If you like, I'll be your model for free.
I couldn't. Not you.
Man, if you're gonna be an artist, you've got to do nudes, nudes.
Right.
Ain't nobody an artist unless he does nude.
Will you get them out of here before we wind up in night court?
Oh, let's change the subject. I'm sick of hearing about sculpture. Nobody knows how to do that anymore, much less the busboy from the Yellow Door.
Who do you think you're talking about?
Don't shout at me.
I don't like you.
Nobody asked for your opinion, Walter. You're just a simple little farm boy, and the rest of us are all sophisticated beatniks.
That's all, man. Let's split. Yeah, man. I gotta make me some air.
See, you made them leave.
What did I do?
The first beneficial service of your benighted life. It proves we're all good for something.
Are you saying that this busboy's better than I?
Yes.
I think this whole bit about him being a sculptor is just a big put-on for my benefit.
That's not true. I am a sculptor.
Oh, yeah? Prove it. Make something out of this.
There. Hand.
That isn't a real hand. If you were a sculptor, you'd create something for me.
A harpoon would be very nice.
I'm going home.
Alice? You're obnoxious. But he's such an idiot. What are you doing here?
I wanted to apologize for being nasty to you this evening.
So you're apologized. Good night. Listen, Twerp, why don't you get out of here and let me go to bed?
I didn't finish talking to you. I decided to make that female figure after all.
Oh?
And I'd like you to pose for it.
Remember what I said about my price?
$25 an hour.
If you want to pay it, I don't mind posing. When do you want to start work?
Tonight?
You mean right now?
Uh-huh.
Wait till I get my sweater. Could use a little more heat around this place.
It's bad for the clay. You'll get used to it.
Well, I'm almost ready.
Here. Sit in this chair and I'll pose you.
Kind of rickety. How's this pose?
Well, that's fine. It's very good. Just stay like that.
That doesn't look like very much clay.
Oh, it's enough. Put this around your neck.
Breakfast.
Watch it, the plate's hot.
Are these fertile eggs?
Are these eggs fertile? Naturally.
What'd you fry them in?
We ran out of the safflower seed oil, but I found a bottle of peanut oil on the shelf. Don't worry, it's not hydrogenated.
Is that the cold-pressed stuff or the junk Hilda bought by mistake?
Yes, man, yes. Hi.
Good morning, Walter.
Hi, Walter. What brings you here?
Had some breakfast, man. What are you having?
And soy and wheat germ pancakes, organic guava nectar, calcium lactate and tomato juice, and garbanzo omelets sprinkled with smoked yeast. Join us?
No, thanks. Sounds great, though. I brought something to show you. Could I have some of the guys help me?
Is it Murdered Man?
It's better.
Come on.
Orders.
Put it in the middle of the room.
When did you do this, Walter?
Last night. It doesn't take me very long.
I should say not.
Well, let's see it, man.
Walter, I can't believe it.
I'm honored to know this man.
Do you think it's nice?
Hey, she's beautiful.
Do you think it's nicer than Murdered Man?
Oh, I don't know, Walter. It's impossible to choose. They're both great.
Walter, I'm deeply moved. To show my appreciation, I'm going to give a party tonight at the Yellow Door, in your honor. And I shall compose a poem.
Welcome back to LiveSCREAM Theater, brought to you by the 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival. I'm still Matt. I'm still hanging out here. We're still watching A Bucket of Blood. Happy to be doing it. Happy to be chatting along with everyone in the comments tonight. Like I said before, this is kind of a quintessential Roger Corman movie, shot in 5 days on a budget of $50,000. A real cheapie, but he does so much, I think, with so little, and something he's really known for, but I think he really knocks it out of the park with A Bucket of Blood. As to where this film came from and the inspiration, I don't know if you know, for those who know a lot about Roger Corman, who is still active today, it's in his 90s, and still producing, and, God bless Roger Corman, I hope he lives to 110. He's kind of I guess in the parlance of this film, he's a real square, right? He's always been kind of the square dude, not the wild director auteur, and certainly not a hippie, and certainly not a beatnik like in this film. And so in various interviews over the years, Corman talked about where this film came from. In one of those interviews, he says, Chuck Griffith, the writer, Chuck Griffith and I worked out the storyline going from one beat coffee house to another on a Friday night on the Sunset Strip. And the final stop was at about 2 a.m. at this one shop where our friend, soon-to-be actress Sally Kellerman, was waiting tables. She closed up and the three of us sat down and worked out the climax of the film together. Was I a beatnik? Well, I, being a young director and knowing a lot of young directors and writers, hung out with a group that could be considered vaguely beatnik. I was not a beatnik, however. When we made A Bucket of Blood, the beat scene was more or less at its peak. Once, when we were shooting a picture in Auckland, a little race car movie called The Wild Ride, starring Jack Nicholson, we finished shooting on Saturday and we decided to go to San Francisco. We went into a place called the Coexistence Bagel Shop, which was well known as being the center of the beatnik scene in San Francisco. And San Francisco, of course, was the center of the beat movement everywhere. So we got a table and some well-dressed older people came in, obviously looking for beatniks, and they pointed at us immediately. We were there to see beatniks, and so were they, and they thought we were beatniks. But A Bucket of Blood was ultimately an affectionate satire on a movement that was soon to be replaced by the hippie generation. And he concludes, the interviewer asked him if A Bucket of Blood was controversial at the time. He says, no, it wasn't controversial at all. It was simply a black comedy, albeit one that was actually funnier when it came out than it is today. It played somewhere recently in West Los Angeles, and I went to see it and the audience laughed, but not as much as when it came out. See, a lot of the things we were making fun of are now accepted in today's society. We had all these things like the vegan lifestyle, people wearing sandals with suits, and they're just not as funny now. What a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of those things that the beatniks were doing and writing about have become a part of our collective culture. Very astute, Roger Corman. I couldn't agree more, and I do love the scene where they're talking about what they're having for breakfast or whatever, and it's just some ridiculous, like wheat germ and blah, 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 pancakes, and they don't have this kind of oil, so they had to use peanut oil, and there's so much about this film that is, clearly of its time and clearly dated in a wonderful way. But there's just moments like that could still be, ported over to a film today and people would be like, huh. And I think, Roger Corman, the champ he is, recognizing that and how much what used to be kind of very strange and funny is now pretty much commonly accepted everywhere. So, let's get not only back to it, let's get to the conclusion of the very short, very concise, very tight, and wonderful A Bucket of Blood here on Milwaukee Record LiveSCREAM Theater, brought to you by the 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival. Find out more about the film festival at mkefilm.org. And now, the conclusion, the shocking conclusion of A Bucket of Blood.
Drinking in the 80s, starting Monday on TV6 News at 10.
Some more champagne, Your Majesty?
Here.
Where?
There. That's fine. Man, let's have another little kiss.
Walter, you're a wretch.
I am?
And I go. Here we go.
All right. Walter. The bird that flies now pays later through the nose of ambidextrous apathy. Necrophiles may dance upon the placemats in an orgy of togetherness. The highway of life cuts sharply through the shady ghettos and the ivy-covered tombs, and laughter rings from every time capsule in the star-spangled firmament. And in the deep freeze, it is the children's hour, and no one knows that Duncan is murdered, and no one knows that Walter Paisley is born. Duncan knows. Tuesday sunrise knows. Alley cats and garbage cans and steaming pavements and you and I and the nude descending the staircase and all such things with souls, we know that Walter Paisley is born. Ring rubber bells, beat cotton gongs, strike silken cymbals, play leathern flutes, the cats and cans and you and I and all such things with souls. We shall hear Walter Paisley is born, and the souls become flesh. Walter Paisley is born.
Marvelous, darling, marvelous.
Man, like that was the greatest gas I ever heard.
Crazy, what did he say?
Didn't you hear him?
No, man, I'm too far out.
Maxwell, that was magnificent.
I feel so elevated.
Walter deserved every word of it.
It makes me so glad I'm aware.
Did you hear what he said?
Yes, Walter.
All about me. It's true, isn't it?
Every word.
You better hold off on the bubbly, artist.
Yeah, why?
You might talk too much.
What would I say?
Most anything, I expect.
Are you two trying to ignore the rest of us?
Oh, not me, Maxwell. I wouldn't ignore you. I know what it is to be ignored.
Tell us what you're going to do next, Walter.
I'm gonna make the most wonderful, wildest, wickedest things you've ever seen. I'm gonna make big statues and little statues, tall statues and short statues. I'm gonna make statues of nobodies and statues of famous people, statues of actors and poets and people who sell things on television, and a statue of the mayor and some opera singers and their intimate friends. And everybody will say, Walter, let me shake your hand. It's been a real pleasure to have known you. Alley cats and garbage cans, they know that Walter Paisley is born. Ring rubber bells, beat cotton gongs, strike silken cymbals, play leathern flutes. Tell us what you're gonna do next, Walter. I'm gonna make big statues, little statues, movie stars and poets and guys who sell things on television. And the mayor and some opera singers. What you gonna do next, Walter? What am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do next? I gotta do something before they forget. I know what it's like to be ignored.
Who are you? What do you want? Life is an obscure hobo, bumming a ride on the omnibus of art. Huh? What'd you say? What is not creation is graham crackers. Let them all crumble to feed the creator. Oh, beat it. You must be nuts.
Hello, Leonard. Beautiful morning, isn't it?
Was. What's that you got in the box?
Just wait till you see this.
Extra, extra, horrible murder at furniture factory. Read about the man who got cut in half. Extra, extra. Police can only find part of it.
Leonard.
Read all about it.
What's the matter, Leonard?
You made a bust.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? What's the matter, Leonard?
Put it down, Walter, please. Walter, listen to me carefully. I don't want you to make any more statues. Do you understand? No more statues.
Why not? I gotta make statues, Leonard. You heard Brock. They want me to make them. And if I stop making them, I'll just be a busboy again.
Brock, he's behind all of this with his stupid, bitter poetry. Listen, you've got to stop and right away. I'm beginning to feel responsible.
Why? What did you do?
Never mind. Walter, I've decided to have that show for you right away. It's when Carla comes, we'll have her work up some nice invitations. We'll have them printed up. We'll invite the critics and the art collectors. We'll tell them.
Well, I don't see why we can't go.
Mr. Leonard DeSantis is afraid to have you come. You who buy his coffee that lure his tourists. You are the heart and soul and meat of the Yellow Door. He slighted you.
Did you get an invitation?
I did not, but I'm going anyway. Not to drink his champagne, but to see Walter's triumph. After that, we go no more.
Hi, Maxwell.
I won't say good luck, Walter.
Why not?
It would imply you could not succeed on your ability alone.
You look so handsome.
I do. So do you. I mean, you look so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Are you ready?
Oh, we've got plenty of time.
I know, but I wanted to talk to you.
Okay, we can go now if you like. Bye.
Later, man, later.
Swing.
Man, why do you suppose Walter wants to get her alone?
Do you suppose he could be physically attracted to her?
No, man, he ain't the type. He don't get enough vitamin E.
Maxwell gave him a bottle of wheat germ oil once. Maybe he just started taking it.
What did you want to talk to me about, Walter?
Well, what kind of people do you like, Carla?
Oh, thinking people. Artistic people, I guess.
You think I'm artistic?
Of course I do.
That means you like me.
I like you very much, Walter.
I thought you did on account how you kissed me the other night.
Oh, that was for your sculptor of the girl, your nude in the chair.
Carla, I've been alone for a long time, and I know you've been alone, because you never seem to go out with anybody, even though Leonard's always asking you to go out with him, and I just...
What are you trying to say?
Carla? I don't want to make statues anymore. I want to get married. To you.
How long have you been thinking about this, Walter?
Oh, for a long time. Ever since you first came to work at the club. You were the only one who was ever nice to me. I didn't know you loved me until you kissed me.
Walter, I do like you. And I did kiss you. But that was because of your work. There's more to being in love with someone than just that.
You mean you don't love me?
I'm afraid that's what I mean.
But you gotta love me. Why do you think I made that statue of Alice?
Walter, I'm sorry, but
You just can't be sorry. I want to marry you.
Now calm down, Walter, and let's go in there and then maybe when the show's over we can talk about it.
Well, I don't want to talk about it. I get it. I see the whole thing now. Nobody knows that Walter Paisley is born. Carla, will you do one favor for me?
Just about anything, Walter.
Would you let me make a statue of you?
Would you really like to? That'd make me very happy.
Okay. Tonight. I'll make a statue of you tonight. Okay?
Come on.
No, thanks.
This could bring about a return to realism.
Yes, a one-man return. We have many artists about, but no craftsmen. This man knows his anatomy.
I'd give $1,500 for this.
After you read my review, it'll probably cost you $5,000.
So what's the trouble? Why should you be so depressed? Have you heard the things they're saying? You can make $25,000 on these pieces alone.
I thought you put money down.
I do, but $25,000?
Leave me alone.
Man, we have come to make this scene.
Want some cappuccino, man? We got the bread. We're not open for business. This is an art exhibit. No bubbles. Get out.
That art is above man.
And he's sober. Yeah, well, that's his problem.
All right, man, all right. We'll wait outside.
Yeah, you wait outside.
Carla? What's the matter?
Walter, there's a body inside that statue.
Oh, that's Alice. It's all right, Carla. Maxwell says it's all right. Let them become clay in his hands that he might mold them.
Walter, you stay away from me.
Don't you see, Carla? I made them immortal. Don't you see, I can do the same for you.
Yes, have him set some cards. I'm going up the basement. I'm going with you.
Hey, man, what is the score?
Walter Paisley's a murderer.
Ah, man, I saw him chasing Carla down the street.
What was that? Nobody knows I'm here.
Walter.
No, they couldn't know. They're dead. No. How could they know?
Did you see him?
He's hiding around here someplace.
He can't hide just because we're in Clay and he isn't.
Walter, go home.
He won't know where else to go.
Walter, go home.
Where is he?
We'll have him soon, Lou.
We'll teach him he can't murder us and get away with it, won't we?
Walter. Walter. What you gonna do now, Walter?
I'll hide where they'll never find me.
There's his rummy. He's gone crazy.
Paisley! Paisley, open up! Paisley!
I suppose he would have called it Hanging Man. His greatest work.
And there you have it. A Bucket of Blood, the 1959, as I said at the top of the show, the 1959 delight. The ending, I alluded to this earlier in an interview that Dick Miller gave. I kind of edited out. I didn't want to spoil it in case you didn't see it coming. But Dick Miller at some point had said if they'd had more money to put into the production so we didn't have to use mannequins for the statues, if we didn't have to shoot the last scene with me hanging with just some gray makeup on because they didn't have time to put the plaster on me, this could have been a very classic little film. The final image of him hanging with some sort of goop on his face. Maybe not the most memorable, most iconic ending shots of all of film, but you know what? For a 5-day shoot and a $50,000 budget, I think this film and everyone involved with it really swings for the fences and really punches above their weight. Absolutely love this film. So, thanks for tuning in. I should mention, oddly enough, and I didn't know this until I was really looking into it, but A Bucket of Blood was remade in 1995. And I forget what it was called, like The Murder Artist or something like that. It was remade as part of a Showtime series called Roger Corman Presents, and Corman was the producer of that series. And it starred Anthony Michael Hall as the Walter Paisley character, Justine Bateman also starring with him, and it had cameos. Now, mind you, 1995 era cameos from folks like David Cross, Mink Stoll, and Will Ferrell in one of his first on-screen appearances pop up. You can find that on YouTube. I watched about 10 minutes of it, and I was like, it's fine. So, once again, LiveSCREAM Theater, Week 2. That's it for tonight. Thanks so much for sticking around. Thanks for watching the film with me and with us. Thanks to Milwaukee Film for letting me do this very zany, very silly, and thing that I love doing, and I hope everyone else is getting some enjoyment out of it as well. The 2020 Milwaukee Film Festival is coming up October 15th. It runs through the 29th. It's an all-virtual festival. You can find out what to watch, how to watch it, passes, tickets, everything. All the information you need is at mkefilm.org. My name is Matt. I will be back for 2 more episodes, for 2 more Fridays here in October, for 2 more installments of LiveSCREAM Theater. Until then, bye-bye.
Baby, don't you cry, 'cause I'm gonna buy you a lullaby, and it's gonna cost me $18.95. Baby, don't you cry. And $18.95's insane for something I could get from the public domain, but it is sweet like a sugar cane, and it will resolve all your pain. Baby, don't you cry, 'cause I'm gonna buy you a lullaby, and it's gonna cost me $18.95. So baby, don't you cry. This lullaby is so nice, warm like a bowl of rice, so much joy that it'll entice. The only problem is that price. Baby, don't you cry, 'cause I'm gonna buy you a lullaby, and it's gonna cost me $18.95. So baby, don't you cry. Its words will wipe your tears, eliminate all your fears. You better use it throughout the years, with a cost unlike its peers. Baby, don't you cry, 'cause I'm gonna buy you a lullaby, and it's gonna cost me $18.95. So baby, don't you cry. Baby, don't you cry, because I'm gonna buy It's gonna cost